Why is it so easy for teenagers to type stuff like, "You're so ugly," and "No one likes you," and maybe even "Do everyone a favor and die"? Imagine if those were the words that you looked at every single day on a screen. Maybe some of you don't have to imagine it. Maybe this is or was your reality at one point. The anonymity of a screen and a keyboard is something that teenagers have felt increasingly more protected by. But that feeling of safety has turned into a feeling of detachment from the rest of the world. Our feelings that started as safety have turned into hardness, unable to see the other person at the opposite side of that screen. It has become impossible for people around the world to see the impact that their hateful words have. But meanwhile, on the opposite side of that screen, 59% of teenagers are getting cyberbullied each year. The math is simple. There are 42 million adolescents in the United States. 59% of 42 million is 24,780,000. So that means that 24,780,000 teenagers are getting harassed and bullied online. But then it gets worse because I went a little further into this math. There are 525,600 minutes in a year. So that means that a child is getting cyberbullied roughly every 12 seconds. And what happens to these kids? Kids that get cyberbullied are 2 to 9 times more likely to have suicidal thoughts. 160,000 adolescents stay home in fear each day because of bullies. And if there was any chance of adults helping, there's never even a moment for them to intervene because the statistics show that only 1 in 6 parents know about their child's online harassment. So that means that out of the 24,780,000 kids getting cyberbullied, only about 4,130,000 parents know about it. And cyberbullying isn't something that kids can escape. Social media platforms run 24 hours a day, so unlike harassment in school, at extracurriculars, or in work, there is no relief from cyberbullying. Now, 59% of kids being cyberbullied seemed too high for the topic, and I was doubtful, so I went and I conducted my own survey. I put a poll on my Instagram account and let kids that I know say whether or not they've been cyberbullied. And the numbers came up to 57%. To me, this was shocking, horrifying, and heartbreaking. Because if you put all of your loved ones in a room together, what would you do if over half of them started disappearing because of a stranger so cowardly they never once looked away from the hateful words that they were posting online? Typing those seemingly hateful words is turning peaceful things into absolute weapons. Every time someone types "go kill yourself," they may as well be turning the computer keys into knives and the mouse cord into a noose. And there are differences between regular bullying and cyberbullying. There are actually 5 main differences. It's anonymity, relentlessness, publicness, how permanent it is, and how easy it is to overlook. The anonymity comes from the bully's ability to be anonymous and not look their victims in the eye. The relentlessness comes from the bully being able to do this 24/7 on platform of choice without facing immediate consequences. The publicness comes from the social media aspect. There's more room for multiple bystanders to watch and do nothing with no consequences, no compassion, and no guilt. The permanent effect is because nothing on the internet is deleted forever, whether it be screenshots or just an imprint in the victim's mind, the effect is absolutely everlasting. The easy to overlook part comes from people not taking it seriously, saying how it was just a joke. A lot of people have a set image of what bullying looks like, and it usually has some physical aspect, more or less. So when a child goes to an adult and tells them that they don't even get harassed in person, adults have a much easier time overlooking it. Now, personally, my cyberbullying experience started in 8th grade. I remember the first time that I was ever humiliated online. I was outed as bisexual on Instagram, And it doesn't seem like a big deal now, but I lived in a small community and I was not ready to share that. So I felt exposed and helpless and completely ashamed. But then it got a little bit worse because the summer after 8th grade, I found a hate group chat about me. This chat had gone on for months and were some of the meanest things that I have ever read to this day. But I think the worst part was that they didn't even realize how awful what they were doing was. One of the comments that I will probably forever remember was when one of the girls said, "And she thinks she's getting bullied," to which another girl responded back, "What? By who?" And then this was followed by comments about how nice it would be if I left the school permanently and how they wanted to try and get me expelled. I don't think they ever found this out, but I screenshotted these messages right away on every single electronic device that I owned. And I thought that I was being smart by doing this. But in reality, I was just becoming obsessed because these hate messages consumed my thoughts to the point where I wouldn't think about anything else. I lost a lot of self-confidence going into high school and constantly suffered from anxiety, just reliving their words over and over again in my head. See, nowadays, a bully has the new playground of social media. 82% of students say it's easier to harass someone online rather than in person. And 81% of admitted cyberbullies say that they've done it because they thought it was funny. A lot of students have admit that they never even recognized themselves as cyberbullying until much, much later. There are many laws that states have put up against bullying, but a lot of these states don't include cyberbullying. So while the tormentors get cut a lot of slack, this is something that the victims will deal with for the rest of their lives. Contrary to popular belief, this is not something that someone can just shut off and ignore, especially teenagers, as the modern day classroom has become so evolved around being internet-based. Once a kid sees this type of harassment online, it cannot just be unseen. The shield of a screen can be used to make us oblivious to how the other person is reacting to our hurtful words. And because of screens, we can't see that our words make someone afraid to go to school every day. Because of our screens, we can't see that the other person goes home every afternoon and cries themselves to sleep every night. Because of our screens, we cannot see that we have just completely turned a person's life upside down. Thank you.